Let's get ready, say go. Let's go. Rainbows in the sky, let's fly away like a bird. You're free to see the boundless face of the earth. The wind blow you like a knife and glide away. Far beyond the clouds, you'll find another place. If the road ahead seems so cold and gray, turns today, don't you be afraid, go and fly away. Chala, hey chala, no time to hesitate, go on and search the earth, within it lies a magic surprise. Oh, chala, hey chala, don't be afraid, you got the power to get through the darkest nights. Chala! Zooming round and round in the sky like a coaster. Hold on tight, or you may find yourself trapped in a maze. When that happens, you may think you will never find your way. At the past, you may take seem all the same. If the road ahead should be just so cold and gray, when night never turns to day, don't you be afraid, go and fly away. Chala, hey chala, no time to hesitate, go on and search the earth, within it lies a magic surprise. Oh, chala, hey chala, be cool, don't be afraid, you got the power to get you through the darkest night. Hey chala, no time to hesitate, go on and search the earth, within it is a magic surprise. Oh, chala, hey chala, be cool, don't be afraid, you got the power to get you through the darkest nights. Chala.
ELW, yeah, maybe. ELW proudly presents Monday Night KliqBait Wrestling. What is going on, peoples? This be your boy Smith, as always, joined by my North American thick boy tag team partner, Mattitude 22. Yeah, we got an interesting night of wrestling here. Yeah, I heard they put Brock Lesnar back in the game now. I don't think they did. Like I said, only really because I honestly Brock Lesnar's been around. He comes and goes so much. I don't really factor him in as an active roster member. He's just a guy they need when they need a big name guy to show up and boost ratings. But bro, I always knew yeah, he's gonna be in the game. It doesn't matter. Wait, you can't hear Matt? Hold on a second. Say something, Matt.
Something.
Can you hear that?
Testing.
Yeah.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
It should be high up with the volume. Let me double check. Just make sure. Alright,
Oh.
say something.
Something. Pussy Willow. Hot
Okay,
chocolate.
I can hear you. You're good. You're good now.
I also want to make it known to everybody, like listening. I'm having a nice adult beverage right now, so I might be like extra fiery tonight. You never know. It might it might be one of those nights.
But yeah, okay. But yeah, we'll be fiery. We're watching Raw. You see the thumbnail. We kind of wanted to talk about something that I saw recently between Al Snow on the Vince Russo podcast. He was talking to something about AEW. We're gonna take a look at. We'll take a look at that in a little bit and just kind of discuss that. But as you see, it's Monday night, so that means it is Raw. It's that Monday night, baby. Monday night clickbait. And of course, we start off the show with a talking segment, which is always a great thing.
Oh my god!
The show is a talking segment.
It's like you've already lost my attention right out of the gate because you're starting the show off with like talking, man. Like that's not how. Come on, man. That's not how you start off a wrestling show.
You know what, Matt? Are you watching the feed so you can see the chat?
I can see the chat. Yeah.
Can you hear what's going on in the feed?
I could hear it. Like I have my volume turned off now, but I could turn it up.
I need you to turn your volume up because when I need you to hear something in the feed for a few minutes.
Okay.
Alright, so we're watching Raw. It's a talking segment. You know what I think about? You know what talking segments make me do when I watch wrestling? And this is just not just WWE, this is any wrestling. You know what wrestling's segments make me feel like? Makes you feel like this, man.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Yeah, that's how I feel when I see talking segments. All day.
Yeah, I feel you. It's never a fun way to start off your wrestling show. And this already been going on 15 minutes, so we in for the long haul.
I'm gonna give it another one because
Brother, what's that?
what's that, brother?
What's that, brother?
Bro, I'm over this match.
Alright, so far they've given this segment we're now 15 minutes in. I'll take away about 3 minutes for entrance. But it's been over our 10-minute segment now.
God.
Which I get it. We gotta sell wrestle. They gotta sell this match because it has been outshadowed by The Rock. So we gotta sell this match too.
How many fucking times has Drew McIntyre said to Seth Rollins, "I need to win this match," and then he loses? How many fucking times?
Too many to count now.
Bro, I don't know. I'm just like over this, man. Like I'm for real. Like I'm over this. I'm over Drew McIntyre. I'm over this match.
You know what? Especially because it's like you're a former 2-time champion. I get it. You feel bad that your your moment was in front of no one. I mean, does it really matter? You're still a 2-time champion in the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and your second reign, people were there. So what's your excuse? What's the excuse? I get it. We didn't rent it at WrestleMania, but to sit there and have this be the foil for why we're a heel right now is, oh, no one was at my WrestleMania to see me win the big one. But then you won it again in front of people. So what does that even mean?
Yeah. I'm just over it. And the booking, it's just they've gone out of their way to just, like, with this whole thing, with this whole tag team match night one, like, Drew feels just like a complete afterthought to me.
That's why we're doing this right now. We gotta remind people that he's also in a match with Seth Rollins, not just The Rock.
Yeah. It's like Seth is already he's already got his shit going on with The Rock. Like, that's Seth's WrestleMania weekend. You know, like, that's Seth's WrestleMania moment. Drew feels just like such an afterthought. Whoa. I honestly hope that match kicks off night 2, so we can just kind of get it out of the way with. Like, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah. Speaking of WrestleMania week, as you all know, ELW will be doing their 1-year anniversary April 4th. It'll be our premiere show that WrestleMania week. It is bound for bankruptcy. There will be a kickoff show prior to the main show, and just signed, it's going to be a 4-way dance, locale 4-way dance, where the winner of that 4-way will then receive a locale championship match against the man himself, King Cobra, JFS, at Bound for Bankruptcy. So, like, woohoo, big implications on that pre-show, man. Big implications.
That's how a pre-show should be done.
Yeah, listen. That's why I'm Book of the Year. That's why I'm the Book of the Year. Yeah. Plus, we'll have a singles competition, but I don't like to have too long of a pre-show, so I'm only gonna probably do like 2 or 3 matches. But that main event of that pre-show will be that 4-way dance to determine who goes on to the main show and challenge for the locale championship. So should be something for the folks here, just to give you a reason to show up for the pre-show. We're gonna give you good pre-show stuff too, good pre-show matches. You know what I mean? Get your wet whistles, get that whistle wet, and have you out there get ready for more action. More wrestling action. And we start off Monday Night Raw. We got women's action. We got Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Okay. I don't think anybody's walking away with a dub here. I feel this is gonna be just a schmosh because they don't want to. Both women are kind of top heels. I feel we're gonna get a Nia Jax appearance, and it'll end in like a no contest or a disqualification or something. To be honest. Because, like I said, you got 2 top baby faces in the ring. I don't see them taking L right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, that's why I feel this is.
No, you're not.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen because, like, so far in all the other competitions, when it was Liv and Nia, Becky interfered, making it a no contest. Then when Becky and Nia had their match, Liv interfered, making it a no contest. I would almost say make this a 3-way at Mania, but you know, Becky's already booked, so. But I feel like there's gonna be some kind of 3-way maybe before that, possibly, or they'll throw Liv and Nia together somehow.
I was sort of thinking, do Liv and Nia get added to that match and it becomes a 4-way?
No.
You don't think so?
It's not needed. There's enough star power just with Rhea and Becky by themselves. You don't need Nia.
Well,
Nia, and adding Nia Jax and Liv Morgan to that scenario actually brings it down a peg.
I mean, lots of stuff that they do is not needed, but it doesn't stop them from doing it.
I mean, it doesn't stop them from doing it, but if I was to sit there and go like, no, because, like I said, Liv and Nia are lesser than Becky and Rhea. Like, I would consider Nia Jax, even though both women, Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, former women's champions, they're on the upper mid-card. Or lower main eventers. I wouldn't even say upper mid-card because they're not mid-card. So I would say they're lower main eventers. Is there even a term for higher to lower tier main eventers? What's going on, Gorgio? But I would consider Nia Jax and Liv Morgan low tier main eventers.
I would just say like upper mid-card.
Yeah, but they're not considered like, they don't get treated, at least in the women's division of things, they're not treated like a mid-card act though. Like I said, both former women's champions, so that would potentially make you a main eventer, correct?
Yeah.
So if you're currently feuding with the woman who is in one of those main events. So, and she's the main event player, that would make them lower main event players. Because they're not mid-card. They're not like in the same level as a Tegan Knox or like a Natalia. They're above that now.
Well, I would say they're lower mid-card.
Who? Tegan Knox and Natalia?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are lower mid-card, but I was just using them as an example. They're just mid-card women. But like Nia and Liv were kind of a little bit above that kind of echelon. Like Raquel Rodriguez is like teetering. She's upper mid-card right now. They want her to be main event, but you know, whatever the reason, she ain't got there yet. But they definitely want her there, but she ain't there yet. Same way like Bianca. Bianca's definitely main eventer. Asuka. Definitely main eventer, even though they got her like in the tag scene, but it's like any given time they want to, they'll put that belt on Asuka, no problem. Not even think twice about it, because she's a main eventer. Like right now, she's playing the role of, tag team competitor. I don't know what really, if there's a lower card for tag teams, but like, yeah, Asuka's a main eventer in that level, at least for singles women.
The whole tag team division is lower mid card. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, so who's winning this? Who's winning this gauntlet tonight?
I know who I would like to see win it.
Who would you like to see win? Nakamura?
But because Nakamura is playing the heel role right now, I don't see it. And it really does look like they pushing Mr. Gable here really hard right now.
A lot of people are gonna be really disappointed tonight, or really happy. Because a lot of people seem to think Brock is gonna come back and win this gauntlet tonight.
Listen, I think probably more than likely it might be Gable, because we're really kind of building him up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And out of everybody in the pack, he's got the best story. They already showed you the vineyard package. So it's like it's already there. Like the table, they literally just set the table for you to eat. Like, here, consume this. This is why you should care about Chad Gable. this is why you should give a fuck about him. You know what I'm saying?
I would kind of.
He tried his hardest once, and he gave it all, but he came up just a bit short. And in front of his family too, at that, in front of his children, made his children cry. Like, this is literally a redemption run.
I kind of would like to see Bronson Reed get the win. But I think more than likely.
I wouldn't be mad about that, but again, it's another heel scenario. It's another heel on heel. Now, that's good for regular Monday Night Raw, but I don't think they want a WrestleMania like that, though. Plus, they have not set up Bronson Reed really in a way to give a fuck about him. Sure, they give him little vignettes every now and then, but it has little to no impact.
Yeah.
So it would lead me to believe like the best, like, you know, Ricochet's just a rando out of nowhere. JD's just another body, and like the only two real options is like Sami Zayn or Chad Gable. I feel like they probably have something else in line for Sammy. So, like I said, like really seems like the forerunner probably is Chad. But like I said, Knox playing heel, Bronson's heel, JD's heel. Ricochet's just coming out of nowhere, just a rando, just a body.
JD, I don't even know. JD, the only reason JD is in there is to eat a pin. Like, I don't even know why he's in there. Like, out of all the Judgment Day members, he's like the strangest one to kind of be in there. Like Dirty Dom would kind of make more sense than JD at this point, you know?
Well, Dirty Dom's probably on his honeymoon. Congratulations to Dirty Dom and his recent nuptials. Big ups to him on that.
Like I feel like JD is just someone there. Like JD is just someone there to kind of eat a pin.
Well, every faction has
like
that one
probably
guy
get it.
that kind of eats the L's. Very rarely do you have a faction that has one guy that doesn't eat the L's. I mean, the only one I can think of, like, of recent years where there was faction where they, like, you knew this was the guy that not to take the L was probably like,
Oh my
Evolution.
God. She didn't even fucking clear the ropes.
I think out of all the factions in like maybe in the past 20 plus years, Evolution is the only one I can think of that like there wasn't a member in the crew that you can look at and go, yeah, this is the guy that's supposed to take the L.
Oh yeah, Evolution definitely.
Like even Ric Flair at his old age is like, nah, Ric Flair ain't taking no fucking L's.
Yeah, like Evolution was was one of those factions where like everybody was extremely successful and like everybody was consistently winning.
Plus, everybody was considered a main event player or soon to be main event player. So like so you're pretty much protected. So it's like who's taking L's here? Like maybe once in a while Randy might take an L, but that shit like that was few and far between.
I think Rick probably took more.
When all of them had all the titles on Raw. Like, yeah, who's taking an L here? Who's taking an L here?
I think realistically, I think probably Rick took more L's than Randy because Randy was Intercontinental Champion consistently for a good part of Evolution's existence.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Is like even if they were kind of taking L's, like they weren't.
I think if anything, most matches probably ended in some kind of chicanery, if I recall. Like they weren't taking L's.
That's what I mean. Like they weren't taking that many L's. Like Evolution was not losing very often.
But
And
it's
if
like,
like they were ever in like a 6-man tag or like something like that, like yeah, like 9 times out of 10 it would end in a schmoz because they were very protective of Evolution. And like yeah, like once in a while you'd see Randy get pinned, or you'd see like Batista the odd time would get pinned, or like Ric Flair would get a pin once in a while, but it was just not very often.
yeah, so it's just like I'm sitting there
It,
trying to
it,
think,
it was
like
not
every
very often.
faction had like that one guy that's like, listen, if he's in the match, I already know who's taking this L. Like, I already know who's taking this L. That's like Violent by Design. Oh, Dieter's in here? Joe Dory's not?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I already know who's taking this L. I already know.
yeah.
You teamed up with him. And, like, wait a minute. Because it's like if it's Eric and Joe, he's like, yeah, they're not taking no L. They about to win this. And it's like, oh, Eric and Cody about to eat this L. Cody and Joe,
Yeah.
man, Cody about to eat this L. He about to eat this L. Same thing with like new DX. When original DX was around, when it was just Shawn and Hunter, it really wasn't a faction, just a duel, but they weren't taking L's. But then we get into the mix with the Outlaws and Pac, and then all of a sudden, Pac over here taking these L's.
Mm-hmm.
Come take these L's, kid. We can't bury the Guns. The Guns is tag champions. Can't bury Trips. Trips is a champ. What about me, though? I'm European champion. Sorry, kid. It's just European title. It's not even an IC title. I'm like heavyweight champion. What? We still have that?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like another. I'm trying to think of like another faction that I would kind of put up there with Evolution. But yeah, like I'm kind of really kind of drawing a blank.
Like, even the NWO had the B Squad. Specifically just to take them L's. It's like Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash and Michael Wall Street? Come on. Come on. Hell, even my man Scott Norton. I love Scott Norton, but Scott Norton was taking them L's. Big Scotty was taking them L's.
And let's whatever. Let's be real. Like whatever Karrion Kross, whatever his faction is called, it doesn't even matter because nobody takes more L's than Kross.
Seriously, watching Liv Morgan wrestle is like actual slow motion. I feel like my feed is like on a slow. Camp Cornette, I mean, we see again. Camp Cornette was one of those situations where I don't think they see they can't. I don't know. Like you had the Bulldog, you got Owen.
Were they like a faction?
You got Yoko,
or were they more of like a stable?
That's more of a stable. Like that's just a collective of men being managed by one person. Whereas the factions, like, we're all independent, but we watch each other's backs. Like same thing, like Heenan family. A lot of cats took L's in the Heenan family, but then there were those cats that were prized in the Heenan, where you had your Andres, your Rick Rudes, and Mr. Perfects, and then you had your Hercules, and your Red Roosters, your Brooklyn Brawlers. You know what I'm saying? Like cats were just. That was a collective. That's not really a faction. Like the Brooklyn Brawler never came to help out Rick Rude or Perfect. Even Rick Rude didn't come to help Perfect, and vice versa. Unless it was a goddamn Survivor Series. But they were just all managed. Same thing with like Jimmy Hart. Jimmy had all those tag teams. Did you see them all? Did you see the Rougeaus come to help the Nasty Boys?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's not a faction. A faction is the group. It is individuals working as a collective where a stables, one guy has a group of men under his employment to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we never kind of established that. Okay, like the Old Heart Foundation. Old Heart Foundation, under the guise of Jimmy Hart, is a stable because they're under the management of Jimmy Hart. New Foundation, not to be mistaken with the Owen Hart, Neidhart tag team, but the New Heart Foundation of Pillman, Bulldog, Owen, and Brett, and Anvil, that's now a faction. You have individuals working together, having each other's backs. That's when it's a faction. Because now they're working as a collective. Sure, there's one head guy, but it's not, like I said, they're not under the managerial services of a person.
It's sort of, yeah, like that's how I would kind of define it. It's sort of like, it's sort of what Bullet Club is now. Like Bullet Club now is, it's like multiple factions that are in a stable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like technically, like House of Torture, like they're part of Bullet Club, but they, for the most part, they're their own faction. Like they do their own stuff together. Like Kenta is not messing with House of Torture. You know what I'm saying? Like if Kenta is about to come out for a match, like House of Torture is not backing him up. Like House of Torture is not coming to the ring with them. Like even though House of Torture is technically part of Bullet Club, they're their own faction that exists inside of Bullet Club, similar to like the War Dogs. Whereas like like the War Dogs, they're a faction. Like they'll all team together, they'll all watch each other's backs, but then again, like they're not really messing with like Kenta, or they're not messing with like Bad Luck Fale or Chase Owens. Like, you know what I mean? Like Kenta does his own shit in Bullet Club. Like he's not hanging around with War Dogs unless it's like a special scenario where they need to come together. Like Judgment Day, when you see the Judgment Day, like they're always together. Where you see one member, you see the rest. If one member has a match, surely there's gonna be other members at ringside. Like that's what I would kind of consider more of like a faction. Whereas like a stable, I always kind of think of it as something where, okay, like technically we're under the same umbrella, but we do our own thing for the most part.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why you need managers, because managers establish stables. Yeah. They establish stables. Like I said, you had them one. Like I said, Slick Rick. He had dudes under his stable. He had Akeem. He had Boss Man. He had Warlord. Now, not all of them commingled together, but like, you know, he'll bring them. He brought the Twin Towers together. But other than that, like all his other clients were on their own. Same thing with Mr. Fuji. Like I said, same thing with Bobby. Same thing, like I said, Cornette's. Yeah, same thing with Jim Cornette. Hell, same thing with Heyman and the Dangerous Alliance. That was a stable, all managed by Paul Heyman. In fact, it was not even a
like
stable. It was actual alliance. It was an actual alliance.
Like Mogul Embassy, you know? Like again, like if you look at the Mogul Embassy, like Swerve, for the most part, he does his own thing. Like you don't typically see Swerve and Brian Cage interacting, or you don't typically see them hanging around. Like Swerve does his own thing and Brian Cage does his own thing.
Yeah, same thing with
you don't typically see them hanging around.
They're all individual wrestlers led by Nana. Sure, they help each other because they're all getting paid by the same person, but they're not a faction the way like Evolution was, where it's like we roll together, we're perceived as one unit. Like I said, all the sum of the parts come together. Like I said, when Swerve has a match, Swerve will be on his own with Nana. Now the only way others get involved is when Nana, the man again, who runs them, is like, hey, I'm kidding you. I need you to do work. Take half Swerve's back.
Yeah. Yeah, like when Swerve had his match at Revolution, like Brian Cage wasn't interfering to try to help him win, or Gates of Agony wasn't interfering to try to help him win, or like Brian Cage wasn't in his corner. You know what I mean? Like Brian Cage had his own match; he was doing his own thing.
Yeah,
if there's a scenario
Swerve ain't coming
where
to help Brian Cage, Swerve ain't coming out to help the Gates of Agony. The only time you'll ever see those other men come out that ring to usually help Swerve is when by order of Nana, because Nana is in charge of that. He's running the faction.
Like if Swerve needs a tag team partner, if Swerve needs a tag team partner, then Cage will be there because they're stable mates, but like they're not hanging around together. Like you don't ever see them hanging out together.
Yeah.
Or you don't ever really see them interacting together.
Yeah, that's why we need more managers back in wrestling, so you can establish stables and factions. Like I said, it's something that gets missed upon because it gets kind of woven together. But when you really think about it, it is two separate things.
Yeah.
Actually, we should. Okay, so then, in today's climate of wrestling, okay, who would you consider a stable and who would you consider a faction? Like, I would say what's that Karrion Kross group called again with AOP?
Final Testament.
Final Testament. I would have to call them a stable to a degree because they have Paul Ellering, and seeing as how so okay, they just gave the win to Becky, so that just shows you how higher tier of a main event is from Liv. Like I said, lower tier main eventer. Becky's still top. She got the clean win.
I don't know. I say they're more of a faction because again, you often see them interacting together. Like you often see them together.
So that would be more of a faction. But then Kross will still come out kind of independent without them, with just him and Scarlett though at times.
Yeah. They're a little bit in between. They're like a little bit in between.
Okay, like Damage Control, definitely a faction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they work as common for all groups. They roll in deep with each other. Bang Bang Scissor Gang would definitely be a faction.
Lately they've sort of evolved into a faction.
Yeah, well, one group will follow the other, so yeah, it would be more of a faction.
Yeah, like Undisputed Kingdom, you know, I would argue that's a faction. Like again, they're always kind of watching each other's backs. Like they're always kind of helping each other out.
Like, okay, I'll give you one good one from AEW. Fucking, I keep forgetting his name. The guy who comes out, the hype man for Penta.
Alex Averhante?
Yeah. You might as well say he has his own stable because he comes out with every fucking luchador. That's a stable. They're all independent from each other. Maybe they might help each other, but the common denominator is that guy. They come to the ring. He comes to the ring with them.
Even lately, he's been coming out with. Even like lately, he's been coming out with Brian Keith.
Yeah. Because I saw him in Commander and shit. Yeah. So yeah, that would be more of a stable. They're not a faction. They're not all together, huddled up and like, yo, put us on a t-shirt. This is just Alex is our hype man. We in the hype man stable.
Like I would argue, Titan Wrestling Federation. If you know you're watching MLW, like again, that's
I've been
more of
following
a
that. I've been trying to catch up on that.
yeah, like that's more of a stable, or like Dario Cueto or Cesar Duran. Like you know, like he's got a lot of guys that he's kind of managing. Like that's that's a stable. Like again, like right now he's managing Mystico in MLW. You know, you don't really see Mystico hanging around with anybody else, but or like MLW actually has a lot of stables because the girl Selena De La Renta or whatever, like she's got her own stable too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's in it. Again, I don't watch
I would
MLW
say
as much. I don't know.
Imperium's a faction. That's a faction.
Oh
More of
yeah,
a trio, but
Imperium
still,
by
it's more of a trio, but still, trio factions kind of the same. Like I said, collective, working together, always together. You know what I'm saying? Sure,
yeah.
Gunther's running the show, but you know he's not managing them.
If anything, like they're his henchmen.
Yeah. Alright, now we got Rhea out here giving Becky the business.
Oh my god. Like we've had more promos than wrestling matches and we're almost an hour in.
I like what she's doing.
Yeah,
with the hair here.
like Gunther doesn't really accompany the other two to ringside, almost because like he doesn't even give a shit about them because he just thinks of them like they're his underlings, like they're like his henchmen, like they're just there to
he leads
watch
by
his back.
he leads by example. They follow his law. They follow his rule. You know, of honoring the mat. Mat is sacred, and he's the ring general. The soldiers. But like Gunther doesn't represent other people. He doesn't have other wrestlers within him, so he's not a manager. Like I said, that's what makes them like a faction. Like I said, they'll accompany Gunther to the ring. You know what I'm saying? They all wearing matching attire. Like same way how like the New Day was. New Day's a trio, but it was also you can also consider a faction. They looked out for each other, whether it be in tag, singles, trios. They were always there for each other. Like even when Big E was sent to the other show, they're still of a faction because if they get back together, it's business as usual. You know what I'm saying? Now the group is just broke off. So, you know. Alright, we got all this. We got Pierce. What's going on here? Tag team? Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I was hoping we was gonna hear about getting some new belts.
I was kind of hoping that they were going to announce that we're we're splitting the tag team titles up. Wow. Can I just say something right now? Can I just say something right now?
Yeah.
And I know everybody's gonna come at me, and everybody's that's fine. That's fine. You can come at me. This WrestleMania to me keeps getting shittier and shittier. Like if every new match that's announced is like more disappointing than the last match that was announced.
How so?
It's like, okay, like Drew McIntyre and Seth. That match sucks.
Yeah,
Rhea
I agree with
Ripley
you
and
there.
Becky. Rhea Ripley and Becky kind of sucks, man. Like Becky doesn't need to be going for the title again. How many times has Becky been in a title match at
That I gotta
WrestleMania?
disagree with you on that front, right? On that one, I think it's a good match because we haven't seen it really yet, so it's new. Sure, it's should Becky go for another title? Hey, I mean, hey, I wouldn't even mind if Rhea retained. So just to have the match doesn't mean she has to win it, but it at least would be something
Like,
different.
That tag team match with The Rock and Roman Reigns sucks. It sucks. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. The Rock wrestles what, once 5-6 years? I don't want to be watching WrestleMania. I don't want to watch The Rock stand on the fucking apron. Like, we only get to see The Rock wrestle so many matches, and it's not very many. I want The Rock in a one-on-one match. To me, putting The Rock in a tag team match sucks, because at some point, we're gonna be sitting here and watching Cody Rhodes fight Roman Reigns a night before they're gonna fight and have a rematch of last year's main event. That sucks. That's fucking boring, man. That's fucking boring. Cody and The Rock in itself is fucking boring, because we saw that shit last year. And now we get a 6-pack ladder match. I don't know, man. Like they could have done something. They could have done something better with the tag team titles than that.
Yeah, I agree with you
Like,
on that. 100%.
like they could have, like they should have been like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. Like we're gonna split the tag team titles, and our Judgment Day will keep one set of titles, and they're gonna be the Raw Tag Team Champions, and then we're gonna take the SmackDown titles, and then we're gonna put the SmackDown titles, we're gonna hang the SmackDown tag team titles up, and then all the SmackDown tag teams will compete in a ladder match, because they've been building a story with Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day. Like they've been building this story where Judgment Day turn their back on our Truth. Like that really should have just been like it should have just been those two teams fighting each other.
Wow. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta stop you real quick. Can we talk about the Oscars real quick?
Sure.
And butt ass
I
naked
didn't
John
watch them,
Cena? I know we like to joke and say we can't see him, and I wish I didn't see him at that point where there was, but damn, son, all I gotta say is Cat Williams called the kid. Cat Williams called the kid. Come on, that's if that's not public humiliation or for somebody's enjoyment, I don't know who it is, bro. John
Admittedly,
Cena, John Cena trying to get into Hollywood, man.
Admittedly, it was a little weird.
A little weird, don't you think? And then on top of that, so okay, you make the man come out butt naked, and then when you put clothes on him, what do you put on him? You put him in a dress. Why you put him in a dress? You couldn't give him a robe? Like literally put like a gown on the dude. Like come on, bro. Like Cat Williams called it, son. He spit the facts. Hollywood be out here doing some weird shit to people to get fame. And I guess
Damn, I didn't realize he was that ripped though.
Oh, man, he's jacked as fuck.
Yeah, he got those fucking cum gutters, son.
Alright, so we got Maxine over here going up against is Candace going heel now?
Wow. Oh my god.
We doing this? They're trying to lean. Hey, listen. Props to WWE trying to lean into the thing.
Okay. Here's my thing. Here's my thing on the John Cena naked thing. And some people are gonna like this, and some people are gonna not like this, and some people are gonna kind of say maybe I'm being too sensitive. My thing is none of these people in the audience consented to seeing John Cena naked. That's my take on that.
It's not about it's not about consenting to seeing John Cena naked. It's about John Cena humiliating himself in front of the elites. That's what it's about.
The humiliating himself to me is whatever. Like I'm sure Cena wanted to do it. He wanted to do it. He did it. To me, it's like I certainly did not consent to see naked ass John Cena.
Yeah, I didn't consent to that either.
Exactly. So that's kind of
that's how Hollywood rolls, son. That's how they roll, bro. They do this weird shit, man. And they'll do it in front of you and tell you you're supposed to accept it, bro. You're supposed to, like imagine you're just even though you might have children watching, you're supposed to be okay with, hey, look, it's funny because everyone else is laughing at John Cena butt ass naked, so you're supposed to laugh at John Cena butt ass naked. See how that works?
That's what I mean.
Manipulation works.
Well, that's my point. Like the Oscars is supposed to be like a family event. So imagine imagine I'm sitting there with my kids and all of a sudden naked ass John Cena comes out on stage. I kind of don't like that. I'm not for that. And it's not a thing of just because it's just because John Cena. Trust me, it's not even that. It's a thing of like when I'm tuning into the Oscars, I'm not really expecting to see anyone coming out in their birthday suit.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just a weird thing.
That's kind of my
take. All of it. You're right. It's just all weird. And like I said, Cat Williams called this, son. They out there doing some real funky shit out there in Hollywood.
Yeah. It just kind of felt very out of just felt very weird and out of place to me.
Don't forget, a lot of those people in the audience is on Epstein's list. That's like I said, you got to think about these things, man. There's a lot of weird people out there in Hollywood, man. They be doing some funky shit. But like I said, but my man John Cena, he ready to play the game, so he paying his dues. He trying to go bigger than he trying to be bigger than Hulk Hogan. He trying to be bigger than Rock. He said, "Yo, I'm trying to pay dues. Put me in the dress." Parade me out here for millions of people to see butt ass naked.
He's got that.
He's getting off on this in Hollywood. Some executive somewhere is getting off on this shit.
Yeah. Like he's got that movie. He's got that new movie where he just kind of talks about masturbating for 90 minutes. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's something to do with that.
I don't know, man.
It just felt a little out of place to me. Like Granted, I didn't watch the Oscars, but like to me, like the Oscar, I think of the Oscars, like I think of that as something
Bro,
like a family event.
real talk. The only reason I even knew the Oscars was on last night is because I saw that Godzilla minus one won an Oscar, and I was like, big ups to that. And then the next thing you know, because I follow certain wrestling things, next thing I know, I see just naked fucking Cena. And I was like, oh shit, the Oscars are tonight? Like, I didn't know it was on. I don't think a lot of people care anymore because the shit is just, everybody knows that people in Hollywood are just kind of fake and weird, and half of y'all are a bunch of pedophiles. Just kind of weird, bro. And then y'all sit there and have a show where you celebrate each other, and you're like, oh, we're the upper 1%, and do really weird shit, and then try to expect regular people to accept this as the norm. And that's why we got problems that we got today in society, because shit is crazy. But either way, let's get back on the wrestling type shit. Cena being butt naked is just, I don't know, whatever. But, what just recently happened, we leaning into the whole Maxine's Garbo thing, huh? Plus we get a little bit of a heel Candice LeRae. What you think about that, man?
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I think that I wish I was watching anything else on television right now. That's what I think.
Come on now. I mean, like,
Like I don't
real
know.
talk.
Like
I mean, with like what, like them kind of leaning into the thing of Maxine's Green, and apparently the women roster's not appreciating her. Like, well, what do you think of that? Like, that's they leaning into it. What do you think? That does it have legs? Can it be something?
no, no, because I feel like it makes it makes them look worse. I feel like I feel like it puts the egg on WWE's face because obviously they're exposing her in a way she should not be exposed, and now it's almost like they're telling you that they're exposing her where she should not be exposed. Like obviously she's getting booed because she's fucking sucks. But here's the reality. She sucks because she had no prior wrestling training before coming to WWE, and then she totally bypassed developmental. Like she totally bypassed NXT. And now she's being put on Raw when she hasn't had nearly enough training or nearly enough experience. And I think that they're exposing her in a way that they shouldn't be. And the fact that they're kind of acknowledging that, it's almost kind of like you're admitting to me, you're acknowledging that you guys think she sucks, but you're still gonna continue to expose her anyway. Like to me, the correct answer is be like, all right, you know what, like, listen, man, like this ain't working. We need to get this girl back in NXT. We need to get this girl back in NXT. She's just not ready to be here.
All that because she was doing the reverse worm. I mean, I'm glad at least they acknowledge, like, this is dumb. Stop doing this. Stop doing
She
this.
should just be in NXT. They should just put her back into. They should just put her back in NXT. See, The Rock did like a tweet or whatever, like, and he was basically like cutting a promo on Cody's dog,
Yeah, I
and he
know. I
was
heard
like,
about that. And you say the
he's
name was
like,
Shithead or
like,
something.
Yeah, and he's like at the end of it, he's like, fuck is it he's like, no, he's like, off is the exact direction you could fuck. Like, I don't know why. This is kind of funny. I never heard that before, but I'm gonna use it from now on. Like, next time someone pisses me off, I'm gonna tell them that off is the direction they could fuck.
All right, before we forget, let's talk about the Al Snow thing.
Gojira, what about Trish?
Yeah, what about Trish?
He just dropped a Trish Stratus. Elaborate more on this Trish Stratus. I love me some Trish Stratus. I was never that. You know what? It's kind of weird though. You know what? It's kind of weird though. Like, I never really thought she was that hot. Like, she never really did it for me. Like, she's fine. She's fine. Don't get it twisted.
Second that, like I never, like, yeah, I can see the appeal, like back in the days with all the fake boobs and stuff, but it was like, like, I guess, like I said, I'm weird that way, where it's like I don't look for my female wrestlers to be like the TNA. Like, I actually want them to be good.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'll just say, fuck it. You can't even tell me nothing. Mickey James all day, every day, son, even on Sunday. So, and she could wrestle. So that was like a bonus. So, like, you know what? Nah. When Mickey James showed up, I was like, nah, y'all can fuck around with Trish all y'all want. So, I'll take Mickey James. So, get out of here with that nonsense. Mickey James. Yeah, she's like Arby's, son. She has the meats. All the roast beef. All the roast beef.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Gojira. But the thing is I feel like Trish was somewhat competent in the ring, whereas Maxine is not. Like Maxine can barely fumble her way through a match.
I think he's trying to say,
and the
like,
thing
Trish
is,
got better. I'm saying Trish got better though. That's the thing. Maxine ain't getting better.
But
Trish got better.
But Trish, when she started wrestling, was not as bad as Maxine is now.
No, she wasn't good either. But she progressively got better.
No, but she could at least get through a match. Like, could she put on a 5-star match? No, absolutely not. But she could at least get through a match. Maxine can barely fumble her way through a match. Like, Maxine looks to me like someone that you brought in, and they're like, okay, we need you for this match tonight. Here's the video game. Play the video game, and then just do in the ring, do what you see in the video game, and that's it. Like, she can barely fumble she can barely fumble her way through a match. And the difference is, like, imagine how much better Trish would have been if they had a developmental back then. Like, imagine how much better Trish could have been, you know? It's a thing where now Maxine doesn't have to be exposed that way, because they have a developmental where she can learn with people that are also learning.
I mean, like I said,
Like,
she could
yeah,
get
like,
better. Who knows? Like I said, it all depends how she wants to do it. But should she be on TV?
yeah,
Should she
like,
on Raw? No.
but like, again, like, how long was Dana Brooke in WWE? And to me, she never got any better.
Yeah, she didn't get better. Some people just say they got. I don't know.
How long has Liv Morgan been here? And I don't think Liv Morgan is any better. Actually, I think Liv Morgan gets worse. I think she's getting worse.
She definitely makes matches feel like they're moving in slow motion. That's the damn shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, she can go back to NXT too.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, Maxine should go back to NXT, and she should take Liv Morgan with her. You know, I'm like I agree, Gojira. I agree what you're saying. No, no, I agree. I agree. Like I totally agree with what you're saying. Like time, in time, yes, she will get better, but I just feel like it almost feels like they're like she's walking the plank and they're making her walk to the plank, because it's almost like feels like they know she's not ready to be in this spot, and they're sending her out there anyway. They don't have to. Like, they have a developmental brand where she can learn to get better properly. You know, like she has that opportunity where she could learn. She could learn amongst her peers, and she could learn to improve amongst her peers. But I do agree. You know, time. Everybody has the potential to improve with time. I feel like everybody has the potential. I feel like everybody has the potential to improve with time, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Like I think Maxine is certainly athletic.
He just needs a little more work.
Yeah, she just needs, I don't know. I think she just needs to, like, right now she's in an environment where people are vastly superior than her. She needs to be in an environment where people are only slightly better than her. It's like, it's like let's say if you just started cooking yesterday, and it's like, okay, I know you just started cooking yesterday, but we're gonna put you in a one-on-one cook-off, and your opponent is Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, like obviously, yeah, you're gonna get fucking slaughtered, and that's almost what they're doing with her when they're putting her against people like Candice LeRae, and they're putting her against people like Rhea Ripley, and they're putting her against people that are vastly better than her. You're putting her against Candice LeRae, someone who's got a decade plus of experience. Well, yeah, like no shit, Candice is gonna wrestle fucking circles around her. She should be in an environment where she's working with people that are her level, so that she could learn properly.
Alright, we got a Cody segment going on here with.
Why the fuck is? Oh my god! Why the fuck is Cody out here crying like a damn girl?
Well, let's
Like a
let's,
fucking
while
like a
they do
fucking
that, let's move on to something.
like a prepubescent girl. Like a child, man. Fuck this.
Listen,
Fuck this
Jim
shit.
Cornette's
Swear
here.
to fucking God.
He said, let's just move on to the next segment. Because I don't. They should be wrestling, but we're sitting here in director's chairs, literally talking.
Bro, he's crying like a goddamn baby.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Fuck out of here. Fuck this show. I swear to fucking God.
but let's talk about my man's Al Snow. He has some words. He has things to say about AEW. And I wanted to kind of look at him and talk about it ourselves. So hopefully Russo ain't no dick on the internet, and he ain't gonna strike us or nothing. But Swipe a little bit of swipe some of your bid here. Your bid, yeah.
The notorious nice guy Vince Russo.
In fact, yeah, I'll even put the video link in the chat. So if you want to see it for yourself. We don't share out here. We don't give credit where credit's due. Okay? Meanwhile,
it's like notorious nice guy Vince Russo.
This Cody Rhodes crying segment.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
That's what I have to say. That's what I said about Cody Rhodes segment right now. We don't really need to see too much as more here, so hopefully that also helps with like YouTube. We'll find out. We're going to look at it. This is from Vince Russo's podcast, and he had else.
And I didn't see this. I'm sure the aftermath of this was that Will was able to kick out and then get more offense. I have no doubt or question that that's the case. So what was the point of taking it? What was the point of doing it? And again, where was the consequence of it? What if this doesn't beat somebody? What does it take? Next week, you smuggle a gun in your prison purse and pull it out and shoot somebody in the ring? Because that's all that's left. That's what you're teaching, because the audience, you can teach your audience to like or dislike whatever you want, believe or disbelieve whatever you want, and to make any single thing significant. You can literally still to this.
What do you think about that?
I don't agree with it. Like,
How so?
I think, sorry?
How so?
Okay, like, here's the thing, man. Like, we're not living, in the age of dinosaurs, like Al Snow clearly still is. It's a modern world. And here's the thing, like, a lot of what wrestling is we need to create moments that can be shown on social media, that can go viral on social media, because in 2024 that's how we create buzz. That's how we create attention.
But is it worth the risk?
Well, whose life was in danger here?
Will Ospreay's, Takeshita's could have been, if not done right, if gone wrong, could have been bad.
Well, what are they what are they talking about? Like, what happened? What's the spot in question?
Was the turnbuckle spot? You see it in the video where he did the whole, and like he just like kind of just lands on his head. That happened at Revolution.
Okay, I get it. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that I totally agree with that spot, but my opinion is, like, Al Snow is saying, well, what's the point? Well, the point is that this is how we create buzz in 2024, by doing things that can be clipped into a 30-second clip that can go viral on TikTok, that people will see and be like, what is this? What is this? Oh, like, this is crazy. I gotta check that out, because we live in a different world. Like, people are not flicking through the channels anymore. Like, we're past that era. We're not in that era anymore. So that's kind of what it is. That's why we have to create a lot of these flashy moves, or a lot of these flashy spots, because things have to be done in a way that they can grab the modern audience's attention. In nowadays, that's how we do it. Like you could argue that that spot was unnecessary, and then I would certainly listen to that argument, but that's the reason for the spot existing.
You're not wrong with that, but
But that's what it is though, Ian. Like that's what pro wrestling is. That's what pro wrestling has always been. Whenever you're stepping inside the ring, you're sacrificing your body. People have had their careers ended by doing safe moves that have been done 100 times. Like how many times has D'Lo Brown powerbombed somebody? How many times has Draws taken a powerbomb, but yet on that one night it went wrong and Draws got paralyzed? So you're always taking that risk. It doesn't matter how safe or how dangerous that spot is. You're sacrificing yourself. You're potentially sacrificing yourself every time you step in between those ropes. Doesn't matter how safe or how dangerous the spot is, because a simple basic move that's been done 100 times could in a split second could go wrong. How many times has Samoa Joe given people a muscle buster and they've all come out of it fine? But whatever it was on that one night, Tyson Kidd landed wrong, or Tyson Kidd took it wrong, and what happened. So you're always taking that risk. And yeah, in 2024, like this is a different age, and we're in the age of social media, and that's how you get people's attention on social media. Short clips that are 10 seconds that people will see when they're skimming through TikTok, or people will see when they're skimming through Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. And it's very fast and it's very flashy, and they'll see it and they'll be drawn to it. That's how we create buzz in 2024. That's just what it is. Yeah, again, Gojira, like I said, I'll kind of say it again. Like you could make the argument that that spot was unnecessary. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not defending the spot, or I'm not saying the spot was not necessary.
Hold the stick. Let's let Al finish.
Today, if you have the right guy visually, you could teach the audience the claw. Just a silly claw can still beat somebody. Okay? Why are you doing this? You know why? Because it's for your own glorification and edification. Nothing more. To get somebody to briefly speak about you and appeal to a niche audience that 3 weeks from now, someone's going to do something else and they're going to forget all about this. Yeah. But you're going to risk your well-being and your physical capabilities for the rest of your life for a momentary conversation. Congratulations. God, you are absolutely correct, Dave. He's the greatest worker of all time. Because he's literally worked himself into believing that he's invulnerable. Just watch this one. Watch this one.
It's another AEW.
AEW. Watch this level of brilliance. Take it in. Watch it again. Watch the guys. Watch. Dropped him on the rope. What the rope is what, Vince? Made
steel
of
cable,
steel
man.
cable,
Steel
aircraft cable that is pulled incredibly taut. Correct?
That's Osprey again, I think. No.
I think that's Orange Cassidy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think he's a dead man. And look at the ref, genuinely and rightfully so concerned about the well-being. This is that independent mindset. They live for one night because they're not going to wrestle again for another month. Do you understand? They don't have to go back out tomorrow night and get back in the ring. They don't have to rely on their ability to wrestle to make a living because they have a regular job. oh, wait, Al, these guys work for AEW. They're under contract. You're absolutely 100% correct. They're under a guaranteed contract, which states whether they wrestle or not, they get paid. Am I not correct, Vince?
100%, man.
Oh, and how often do they wrestle? Oh, the schedule is that they might work once a week, maybe if they're because he's got such a large roster, you may not work for a month or two, but you're still going to get paid. Well, you're able to take these risks physically and financially, because hey, whether I work or not, even if I get hurt, I'm still going to make money. How about your mindset would dramatically change, right? If you were like, hey, you know what, bro? I don't think we should do that move. Man, I got to work tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and I got to fly from Seattle down to Texas and from Texas up to New York. I just physically, I don't want to sit on the plane and feel like that. I could be hurt, and then if I'm hurt, I can't wrestle. If I can't wrestle, I don't get paid.
Yep. Is this?
You know what? Let's do it. You know why? I get paid whether I wrestle or not.
Is this?
And I may not work for another 2 months anyways. Who gives a shit?
All right. This was a couple weeks ago. Scary spot with Madison Rain. She ended up tweeting that she was okay.
I heard about this, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, she ended up saying she was okay after this, but it's scary. I had to get rid of the audio because AEW copyrights everything.
Oh man, and that was nothing compared to all the other stuff.
Yeah, but it's bad.
She's out.
I wouldn't even say this is like a reckless in this case. It's Madison Rain. She's kind of trash.
I don't.
She kind of
I don't-
trash.
I don't think this is an example of being reckless. I think this is an example of Madison Rain took the move wrong. Like she took a flatliner and she cradled her neck when she should have extended her neck. So she took I think that's an example of Madison Rain took the move wrong versus being reckless. Again, I agree a little bit with the latter part of what Al Snow is saying. I agree that these guys can go harder in these matches because they're not working as much. So that's the thing. Like they can go harder. They can be like, okay, let's go a little bit harder and let's put on a really good match. Because after this, we can give our bodies time to heal properly. We can give our bodies proper time to rest because we're not wrestling 4 other times this week. So that's sort of the luxury that they have, so they can afford to go a little bit harder. They can afford to be a little more physical with their matches. Whereas in WWE, they often work very safe, very paint by the numbers matches because unfortunately the men and women of the WWE, they're constantly on the road. They're constantly doing house shows, so they don't have the luxury. Like we're watching this match with Shayna Baszler right now. Shayna Baszler's probably got to wrestle. Shayna Baszler's probably got to wrestle tomorrow, and then she's probably got to wrestle the next day, and then probably she's gonna wrestle the day after that, and then she's gonna be driving all over the place, and she's gonna be flying. So yeah, she has to work a more safer. They have to work a more safer, paint by the numbers match because she's like, yeah, I can't burn myself out in this one match because I have 4 other matches this week. Where in AEW they have that luxury to where, hey, you know what? Let's just go hard tonight, and then we're gonna be off the rest of the week. So we have the rest of the week to rest our bodies, to heal our bodies. So let's really go hard out there. Again, I don't know. It's not a thing of one is better than the other per se. It's just that's the difference. Like I don't perceive that as a negative. Like the fact that AEW superstars are not having to wrestle 3-4 times in a week, I don't perceive that as a negative. To me, that means their bodies are gonna last longer and they're gonna have more longevity because they're not gonna be they're they're not going to be taking 4 times as many bumps that week.
Let's keep playing.
Well, Ian, reckless and careless is subjective.
Let's keep going now. By the way, we're at the women's tag team titles. We got Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks taking on
Who
the
cares?
Warriors.
Like, as if the Kabuki Warriors are gonna lose this match. Like, next, what's next on this fucking Raw?
He's out. Look at her.
Good. I hope the
Wow.
titles do change hands.
Play that again, Jeff.
Can you, and Jeff, can you play? I think it continues to play a little further through. You know what I mean? Oh my God.
Man, give me a break. Oh, did you? Jeff clearly got with Jeff Hardy by AEW because I think he was having a match with Jeff Hardy. Okay, Jeff clearly got concussed in the match and was out of it.
Yeah.
And Sammy Guevara went on hitting him with his finish and everything else. Well, and they actually freaking suspended him.
Really?
For not taking care of Jeff when he was just helpless and concussed, and he went on, hitting him with his finish and doing everything else. God, bro, like really,
you gotta
man?
get your shit in. You gotta get shit in.
You gotta get your shit in. You're exactly right, man. You got to get your shit in. Forget it.
Because what you do is what gets you over.
Here's Ring of Honor, another AEW company, man.
Yeah, this is the last one.
I don't get this spot though, to be honest.
Right on his head.
What is this move? Like, what are they trying to do?
I don't know.
He's
what are they
drop you
trying to
straight
do?
on your head. How about that?
Hey, and again, conversation in the back. Hey, so I'm gonna get you up like a crucifix from and you'll be on the back of me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch you up and I'm going to press your shoulders downward so that you land right on the top of your head.
Bro, what is this dude? What is this dude? Ed Grimley with his shorts pulled all the way? Why is this guy's shorts pulled all the way up to his titties, bro? Look at him.
That's good crotch work. That's what that is.
Man, it's unbelievable how many of these clips we have on a weekly basis. It's unreal. You would maybe somebody botched up once or twice a week.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable, Al.
I know. I and then you're going to have those that are going to defend it. And they're going to take they're going to get upset and they're going to, take the, that I've got an axe to grind and that I'm bitter and, I'm not at all very, satisfied with everything. And I just, I watch this and I watch the escalation continue all the time. And at some point, someone, again, the reason I took up the cause that I took up years ago when I ended up buying OVW, ribbing myself, was, because I went to the wrestling commissions insisting on standards of training and standards of activity in the ring, because a young man in Oklahoma who was poorly trained took just a spine buster, struck the back of his head, had, brain swelling, and was in a coma to the point where his dad had to pull the plug. The kid died. And there, I promise you, there are more accidents that have happened and are occurring like that. And what it's going to take, quite honestly, and we're en route. When this happens, I want everyone to go, Al was right, okay? Because everyone's going to deny it, okay? At some point, especially the likelihood is definitely it's going to occur on a show on AEW, unquestionably. That's where the highest likelihood is. There is going to be someone on that show or a show, but more than likely it's going to be AEW. And this is what, it's going to be a national television, and you're going to watch someone die right in front of your eyes. I guarantee it. Some young man or woman is going to drop on.
What do you think? He's dropping some bold predictions here. Would you think would you think they're a little bit off base, or would he be like, you might? I mean, with the things AEW be out there doing, no, they be doing, like I said, just with the shit with Darby Allin alone. That's why I wanted to really bring it up, because, like I said, like all these other things, you could say botches or just trying to get your shit in, but the Darby Allin thing is like, bro, like your man was out here leaking. They had to plug him up, or he'd have bled out. He'd have bled out.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, I guess I don't know, I guess it's a good thing nobody ever died in WWE's ring, right? Oh wait.
Yeah, people die.
Like, I don't know, man. Too. Like, that's kind of a.
They try not to drop people from rafters anymore, at least to my knowledge. Whereas AEW was dropping Sting from a rafters not that long ago.
You could. Here's the thing, man. Like, at any given moment, something could go wrong. I think that's just reality, and that's just something that these men and women they deal with that, and they understand, and they try to protect themselves as much as they can, and they try to protect their opponents as much as they can. But sometimes there's just nothing you could do. You could do the most dangerous spots in the world and be totally fine. Tommy Dreamer went his entire career doing hardcore matches and doing insane matches and never once got injured. So to me, like, that just seems totally totally off base.
You got
that just seems
some swollen testicles from he took a fucking Singapore cane to the fucking groin. So he took an injury.
Okay, but he never never to the degree where he had to have surgery and was off television.
Okay.
He got banged up, but never to that degree. Never to the degree where he had to have surgery and had to be off television. CM Punk is off television right now because he took a move wrong and fucked himself up. Like, I don't know. I think that's just kind of the reality. Like, that's the unsatisfying answer. That's just the nature. That's just the nature of this business, and that's just the risk these men and women take. And anybody could lose their life or get hurt at any given moment. It could be a super simple spot that's done 100 times. Like, again, another example, like, look at that one jobber who took a rocker drop wrong and was paralyzed.
Yeah.
That's just it. I don't know.
The argument Al's trying to make is that he's thinking he's trying to say, like, the unnecessary spots aren't that necessary for every match that you're in. Like, you don't have to sit there and try to, like, put on a 5-star Meltzer for every show. Like, this no one's saying you shouldn't try to innovate and do different shit, but the thing of, like, okay, do you have to try to kill yourself at a house show? Like I said before, like, save the good stuff for when it really counts, if you really want to go out there and get clickable moments. But when you're trying to do it, like, every weekly show, it's like, whether it goes right or doesn't, you're still putting your body in that kind of pain that you now, like, hey, now I gotta go back and work. So it's like, I think he's more advocating for, like, at least be trained properly, and, like, don't put yourselves in those positions again. Like you said, both men gotta kind of agree on this spot, So you are knowingly putting yourself in harm's risk. But like I think, well, no, let's let him finish because he does have more to say though. So before I even speak,
on their head and they're going to die, or at the very least be completely paralyzed from the neck down. We watched it once already with D'Lo and Draws, okay, and that wasn't enough. Now it's escalated from a running power bomb, which quite honestly isn't that much of a risk. I mean, but there is still that risk. We now have escalated to where we watched Will Ospreay go up into a vertical suplex with the guy standing on the second rope and drop straight up onto his head. We watched Orange Cassidy get dropped bodily on the top rope. It could almost be cut in half. Okay? How much of a exponentially has the scale went up that we're going to watch someone die? I mean, legitimately, they're going to die right in front of your eyes in a match. And then we're all the people that are encouraging this, the Dave Meltzers, the Ryan, the Sean Ross Sapps, the Ryan, oh, we don't encourage this. Yeah, you do, because you applaud it. You reward it. You praise it, and you give it more acclaim. That is condoning it, and that is inspiring others to continue to do it. So don't tell me that you're not doing exactly what I say you're doing, because you're lying to yourself, to no one else. You are, instead of condemning this like I am, you in fact will condemn me. You in fact will defend their choices. And you in fact will reinforce those decisions and tell me I'm wrong because I'm trying to sway them from taking that kind of risk.
Bro, they're giving them awards for this stuff.
Correct.
They're giving them awards for this.
The rumor I heard was that you get a bonus if you get a certain star level match in AEW. So you are being not only inspired, you're being rewarded. And someone, I promise you, and they're going, oh, you're crazy. Really? Okay. We just saw Madison Rain, and it was not even nearly as complicated or as risky a move as some of the ones we watched, and she was knocked out. We're going to see somebody die.
Yeah.
Mark my words.
Yep.
We are. And we're not going to be happy or satisfied. And then these same exact people who condemn me for wanting to protect someone's safety, who condemn me and say that I am bitter and that I'm a hang-on and so on, condemn me, are now going to be the ones that are going to sit there and go, oh my God, that was terrible. It was so tragic. Something has to be done. Really? Something has to be done now?
Yeah.
Don't bullshit yourself, because that's exactly what the conversation is going to be. And they're all going to virtue signal and tweet. And I got on social media and I said, I cried and moaned. Yeah, but you don't talk about the fact that if we go back through all your other tweets, it's showing that you are literally motivating these young men and women to do it.
So what do you think of that? What do you think about what Al just said there?
I don't really think anything about it. I think it's just that's the nature of the business. Again, you could get injured by doing something super safe and simple. Like you're taking a risk every time you step into the ring. You're taking that risk.
Where the critics throwing out encourage, congratulating him for taking these dangerous spots. Like, do you think there's something there? Well, like I said,
I don't know.
Like I said, I take away from Al is like he's coming with a good intention where it's like, yeah, he's not saying wrestlers shouldn't be wrestling. He's just saying wrestlers should be safer and smarter about it, so to protect themselves. Which I don't think anything he's saying is a bad thing there. But I also feel
I don't.
He does have a point that there is a thing, and it's not just within wrestling; it's in society itself that we let other people give value to what we do by some arbitrary reward, and then it incentivizes others to then do the same because it's like, well, if he did that and got that, if I do it, then I should get that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Ian. Was it necessary every time Jeff Hardy jumped off a ladder, or was it necessary every time Jeff Hardy jumped off a stage? Was it necessary when Edge jumped off a ladder and speared Jeff Hardy, who was suspended in midair? Or were any of those risks necessary? Was it necessary when Rob Van Dam gave Triple H a frog splash off the Elimination Chamber and crushed his trachea? Was that necessary? So like the whole what is and what isn't necessary. The whole what is and what isn't necessary is sort of irrelevant.
I wouldn't even say
Because a lot of shit is not.
A
lot of shit.
He did point out the D'Lo Droz thing. Like he acknowledges that this is not something that's exclusive to an AEW. He's speaking in just a wrestling in general. He's just kind of highlighting that AEW is glaringly taking more risk with their wrestling that could potentially, like I said, could go wrong. And I think he's just advocating for just be safe, be more safer out there, especially if you want to do this for a living or want to be able to have a life afterwards. And like I said, I think it's not a bad thing.
And agreed, and that's my point. I'm not defending taking a suplex onto the top of the turnbuckle. I'm not saying I'm for or against that. That's not what I'm saying. But Al Snow's talking about, you could put someone in a claw and beat them that way. But guess what? We're not in that era anymore, and people don't want to see somebody put their opponent in a mandible claw for 5 minutes. That's not gonna make people tune in. That's not something that's gonna get people excited. You have to understand that take all that old school thinking and throw it out, because all that old school thinking doesn't mean anything in this modern day. And that's the point I'm making. In a modern day, people don't want to watch 20-minute rest holds. Maybe they did in the 80s or the 70s or whatever. Maybe they did, but they don't now. And that's just the reality. And again, the reality is that's how you create buzz. Short spots that can be clipped into a 20-minute clip that people will see on social media. You could argue, you could make the argument that getting dropped on your head on a turnbuckle, you could totally make the argument that that's not necessary. I'm totally here for that argument. But that's what wrestling has evolved into. That's what wrestling is nowadays. That's why the modern version of what a wrestler is somebody that's smaller and more athletic, so they can do these flashier moves. That's why we're not in the era big steroid guys that will punch each other for 20 minutes. Like when they did the thing where Ricochet springboarded on one end of the ring and Logan Paul springboarded in the other end of the ring, and they collided with each other. Like, do you know how do you know how wrong that could have gone? Do you know how dangerous that could have been? Because you had two guys springboarding each other in a position where neither one of them could really control what was going to happen. They could have springboarded, and their heads could have collided, and they both could have got a hematoma and died. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
I mean, a lot of things can go wrong in the wrestling ring.
That's my point. But why that's my point. Why did that happen though? Because hey, listen, like, we want people to be talking about this match. We want to create buzz. We want people to be talking about Logan Paul and Ricochet. We got to do something that's going to make people talk. We got to do something that's going to make people stop scrolling. That's just what it is. You can agree with me or you can disagree with me. I don't really care either way. Or you can like what I have to say or you can not like what I have to say. But that's the reality. All this like old school thinking, all this like, oh, well, this is how it was in the 80s. That's garbage, because we're not in the 80s. It's a modern time and a modern audience. And that's just what it is. That's just the reality, whether you like it or not. Again, you could make the argument. You could make the argument for a spot being unnecessary. You totally could.
But that's the
But
thing. But I think that's the argument he is making, is that they take too many unnecessary spots. It's like you take an unnecessary match in this part of the match. You take one in the next, and it's like, okay, when is it even going to be the finish? You telling me I take a Canadian destroyer off a ladder through a table, and that's not the finish?
Yeah, like I would agree with that.
I think that's what he's trying to get at, and to a degree of like, AEW has a propensity to want to just overdo it, of that indie mentality of like every spot's got to be a high spot. Every moment's got to be a oh shit moment, where it's like, okay, you can do that, but did this 20-minute match need 7 oh shit moments where you almost killed yourself in every moment? Or could you have just done one oh shit moment and really left the crowd leaving them with something to remember? I think that's what he's really trying to convey. It's like, I'm not saying you
absolutely.
I'm not saying that you can't do the things. It's just like within moderation. That's it's the same way how the DDT is not a DDT anymore, where the DDT used to be a finish that if you hit it, that was it. Now the DDT is just a setup to do something else. Same thing with a super kick and a pile driver, where at one point in wrestling, those were the finish. Now it's just a move. But it's like, at what point does like that kind of spot where you're sitting there dropping people on their heads off Brett's rope, by the way, the deadliest rope, is no longer just a high spot and just becomes the move. Remember, the Canadian Destroyer used to be a finisher. Now it's just the move.
Well,
so
it was a
finisher. I can understand. It's still a finisher to some degree, but nowadays in a lot of wrestling, it's just a move now. It's just another move.
It's a finish. It's a finish when P.D. Williams does it.
Yeah, but anybody else who does it's just a move.
Again.
But like I said, you could say this. I can see the point that Al Snow is trying to make, of where it's like, not. You could do all these things. No one's saying you can't, but it's a question of like, do you need to do everything all at once?
I don't know. Like that's not really for me to.
Because yes, the market is asking and conditioning for that. He's also saying that, if you're getting what you do, you can still get more and still give them less if you're actually good at what you do. Which I believe wholeheartedly.
I don't know,
you can, and that's not just for wrestling. That's for anything. You can, if you're really good at what you do, you can give a person less, and it'll still be considered more because you have a talent at whatever it is you're doing. It's the same way where it's like, okay, a guy like Kota Ibushi. Where Kota Ibushi sitting there wrestling an inanimate object but can pull it off. Why? Because Kota Ibushi's got that kind of talent where he's sitting there giving you less, but you still got more. Does it make sense? Same way with like when Kenny Omega wrestled a child. You don't expect much from a grown man wrestling a child, but because Kenny Omega's good at what he does, he can take less and give you more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. Like I said again, let me reiterate my point. Is
I think you mean
you
reiterate.
could argue reiterate. You could argue a spot being reckless. Like I'm not gonna deny that, but my stance is sort of, why does that spot exist? And I'm telling you why that spot exists. I'm not telling you like if I think it's unnecessary. It's not for me to decide what is and isn't necessary. That's between the performers. That's whatever their level of comfort is. If somebody wants to get dropped on their head on a turnbuckle, that's for them. That's their decision to make. That's not for me to tell them they're right or wrong for wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's their level of what they're comfortable with and what they're willing to do. That's between them. But again, a 20-minute claw is not getting it done in today's age. Sorry guys. 20 minute mandible claw's not getting it done anymore. That's why the modern wrestler, we don't see these big steroid guys anymore, because people don't want to watch two jacked up guys slap each other around. Wrestling has changed. The wrestling audience has evolved, and the product has evolved with it, and this is just what gets it done in these modern ages. Like I said again, it's short clips, it's spots that can be made into short clips that can go viral on social media, because people aren't flicking through the channels anymore. I would argue most people don't even have cable anymore. And how did wrestling gain new audience back then, right? You would be skimming through the channels, and you would flick over, you would skim through the channels, and you'd stop and see wrestling, and you'd be like, oh shit, okay, this looks kind of cool, let me stop and watch this. Right or wrong?
I was always watching wrestling, so I don't count.
Okay, well, maybe you were always watching wrestling, but that's, in the old days, that's how people discovered it. That's how new people would come to it, because they'd be flicking through the channels and they'd see it, and they'd either think it was interesting and they'd stop and watch it, or they would not be interested and they'd keep going. That doesn't exist anymore, or that exists very, very rarely, because most people don't even have cable. Cable is almost not even a thing that exists anymore. So how do we attract new audience members? How do we attract new people now? Like I said, short clips that can go viral on social media. It's what it is.
You know, it is what it is, man. You gotta. We could have this discussion all day, but like I said, I would hate if Al Snow was right, though. That somebody might end up losing their life. God forbid it happen. If it ever happened, I
I would hate for that to happen to anybody in any company. But again, that's the reality. That's just the nature of the business. Again, Owen Hart lost his life. He lost his life before the match even started because of a freak accident. Because something that was rehearsed, something that was probably rehearsed 100 times, and something that was probably tested, and something that was probably tested to be like, yeah, like this is super safe, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and that's what happens. That's just the reality. Like again, how many times did Bret Hart take a super kick? How many times did Bret Hart take a super kick and was totally fine, and then all of a sudden takes a super kick, he takes an unprotected super kick, boom, career's over.
Yeah, but that's not even.
How many?
I don't think that's a thing of, but I think that's almost to Al Snow's point, because it's because Goldberg didn't know what the fuck he's doing. That's why that shit happened.
Maybe it is.
So that almost is a thing to Al Snow's point of like, teach you how to do this the proper way, because everybody knows Bret Hart is probably the safest wrestler you could wrestle with. Even though all the moves he does looks effective, everybody tell you like it's light work wrestling Bret, because you're not gonna feel nothing. You're not gonna feel nothing fucking with Bret, because Bret knew what he was doing. But Goldberg, on the other hand, didn't know. And hell, to this day, Goldberg didn't know what the hell he was doing, because remember when he almost knocked himself out in Saudi Arabia? Because he was never really properly trained. I think that's the point Al's really trying to make. Like, train them, like you can do these things, but if you go into a ring with somebody who's not properly trained, you end up getting concussed because he don't know how to pull his kick back. Man don't know how to pull his own power back to the point he knocks himself out. Because he's never been properly trained.
Well, again, you could make the same. I'll throw it back to what we were talking about earlier. You could make the same statement about Maxine Dupree. Like, she's obviously not ready to be in the ring.
Yeah, she's not.
So how long before she does something and hurts herself or hurts somebody? How long before she goes to give somebody a suplex and drops them on her head because she's never been properly trained?
Yeah, so that's why she need to go back to the drawing board and get back in the oven, because you're not done yet. So all those things factor in. So it's like I said, I could see a lot of Al Snow's points. He does make a decent argument that yes, wrestlers need to be trained properly. Not everybody's being trained by the same people. So one person's lesson might be another person's lesson, but you know, it is what it is.
Like I don't think there's no disputing that. Like I don't think there's anything wrong in that. My point of contention with Al is that is the whole statement of like you could do like a mandible claw and have it be the same effect as like a Canadian destroyer.
I don't think he actually like go out there and do the claw. I don't think he meant the mandible claw. I think he meant like the regular like.
Listen, man, that's what he said.
Yeah, no, that's what he said. But I'm saying like I don't think he means like everybody should just be out here doing old school moves. Like again, I think it's a thing of like you said, you can get hurt just getting a regular sit down power bomb, but it's a thing of like at least be trained properly to take these bumps. And at least, you know, think about your well-being. Like I said, he's more, I think, more hot at just the critics of the Meltzers of the world who just sit there and give these arbitrary ratings, and people like hold them in such high regards when it's like it's just one dude saying he likes your match.
Yeah.
But people need that validation, that affirmation, that clout. that they are going to chase highest of highs. And like I said, it's not just in wrestling. It's on social media. It's everywhere. People are always going to go to the next extreme because they think it'll get them more attention. It'll get more eyes on them. And yeah, we live in a society where, yeah, that shit does work. So we're kind of at a fork in the road here. You know what I'm saying?
Like, exactly. Like again, Ian, whether it does or doesn't have to be the nature of the business is irrelevant, because it is. That's the reality. You know, you have to take the world as it is, not as you would like it to be.
But you can be more
And again,
prepared
like,
for that world,
that's
though,
how.
Matt. You can be more prepared for it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can.
The world is
Absolutely.
what it is, but that
Absolutely.
doesn't mean you got to come in blind. So you can always come prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes you can only prepare so much. Sometimes you could be the most prepared and shit could still go wrong. Like, I don't think there's any way to prevent that.
No, there's nothing you can prevent.
You know.
But like I said, preparation is better than having none. Having knowledge of how to do something is better than not knowing at all. Even if that thing you know is gonna throw you a curveball, you'll at least know enough to handle the basics, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll use the experience, you'll use that knowledge, and whatever other skills you may have, and apply those. So you should never doubt that. Yeah, you can. The world is unpredictable, but that doesn't mean you can't be prepared for it, even if you don't know what's coming. Because all things can be some things sometimes. Remember that.
Like I said, man, that's just what the business is now.
It is, but like I would just say though, wrestlers need to be a little bit more wise, to be honest, because like I said, that Dalton Castle Johnny TV spot just seemed like something that was like that. Just none of that. Even though he tried to block it with his hands a bit, it's like still, son, that shit can go wrong so many different ways.
Well, was that something that was done intentionally, or was
it clearly had to be something done intentional, because if you look at the spot, Morrison blocks. He puts his hands on his head to kind of brace the fall. So clearly that was an intentional spot, because the angle has been that Dalton Castle wants to rip Johnny TV's face off. That's the angle that they've been going with, for Ring of Honor, that Dalton Castle's been trying to get his hands on Johnny TV. They had that match. He did that spot, and then fucking Johnny TV managed to walk away with the boys. He now has custody of the boys, and they're still going on with that storyline. But it's like a spot like that, and that even wasn't the fucking finish. So it's just like that. Just to me, like that's a spot right there. Like, nah, bro, that wasn't even necessary. And that wasn't even the finish. Like, God, bro, that could have gone wrong in so many directions. Because it's like, even with his hands on top of his head, that it's only gonna absorb so much impact. Because like, you still got a neck. You still got a neck. So like I said, when you see spots like that, like I said, you can look at some of Al's argument and like, yeah, man, it's some of that's not necessary, bro. 640 days for my man Gunther. Ring General. I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind if Gunther kept going. You know what I'm saying? Like
past WrestleMania?
Past WrestleMania, keep going. Like, listen, you really want to make you really want to throw some prestige on that IC title. Like I said, let him be. He's already the longest reigning, but like give him a reign that's like yeah, nobody's touching this for a while. Give it the same luster that your WWE Championship has, where, like I said, like it Roman's only like what the fifth man to hold it past 1,000 days. So why not give it to Gunther? Like I said, he it's not like he ain't out here killing it. It's not like the match qualities is dipped. So why not?
Yeah.
Let him run with it. Let him run with it longer. I'm not mad. Like I said, even though I think they probably might try to go the Chad Gable way, I wouldn't mind Gunther staying champion. Not every title has to change hands at WrestleMania.
I think I'm ready for this one to change hands though.
You ready for?
I'm ready for
Gunther to drop it?
Yeah.
You a hater, man.
Just because it's just because I think he's done all he can do with it.
I think the problem with Gunther, if it really is it's just the lack of competition that they give him.
Yeah,
We're now kind of cycling
then
right
they
back
need
to
to
like Ricochet, and like I said, Ricochet ain't been doing shit for the longest time.
or like they need to get him some legitimate opponents. Like, okay, like put him up against like Andrade or something, you know?
Seeing as how Ricochet's coming out first, that already tells me he ain't making it that far in his gauntlet match.
It's like, yeah, because like it's like if you look at everybody in this gauntlet, like most of them he's already beaten. Like he's already beat Ricochet for the title. He's already beaten Bronson Reed. He's already beat Chad Gable more than once. Like JD McDonough is so irrelevant. Like he doesn't even get a match against Gunther because he's such an undercard guy. The only two people he hasn't
they gave that match to Dominic, and hell, Dominic put on a good match with fucking Gunther.
Yeah, he did. Like if they're gonna keep the title on him, then I want him to start fighting more legitimate opponents. Not like Ricochet. Like start putting him up against like some legitimate challengers, people that could believably beat him for the title.
Then who would you?
Like Jey Uso is like the perfect example.
Well, he beat
Andrade.
Jey Uso with no help from Jimmy, but
No, but that's what I'm saying. But like that match with Jey Uso was great because I legitimately felt like, oh man, like the Intercontinental title is in serious fucking danger. Like I felt like that championship was legitimately in danger. Like I didn't feel that way when he defended it against Gable. Like going into that match, it's like I already knew he was gonna beat Gable. It's the same thing with Bronson Reed. Like Bronson Reed is such an undercard guy that it's like, yeah, like I knew obviously he's beaten fucking Bronson Reed, but when he starts fighting like a main event caliber guy like Jey Uso, now okay, like now we're talking. Like now it feels like something could happen because Jey Uso is a top guy. Jey Uso's a main event guy. Jey Uso could believably defeat Gunther for the Intercontinental title. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I hear you.
Like nobody was like oh yeah, like yeah, Bronson Reed is definitely taking the title from Gunther. So like I'm not against them keeping the title on him, but if they're gonna do that, they gotta give him like better competition.
I'm trying to think who else is out there that he could go up against. That It seemed credible, at least.
Hmm. Like maybe like a Finn Balor, let's say. Maybe once they drop the tag team titles, maybe like a Finn Balor.
I would say, where's Omos? What happened to Omos? Where the fuck he go?
I think they
So, I mean, he showed up for the Rumble.
I think they sort of just what?
What?
This gotta be a joke.
What's a joke?
This gotta be a joke. Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax next week? Are we in a fucking time loop right now?
Muhammad Ali into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, why not? You already got the Great Khali in there, so why not? Put anybody in there, who cares? Put Nicholas in there.
Tag team qualifiers. Oh, come on. Y'all gonna job out in the sheer to Miz and fucking Truth? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man. You mean to tell me they first, like, official appearance back on TV and you're gonna job out to the Awesome Truth?
That sucks.
This is some bullshit, sir.
That sucks.
Ain't that bad a bitch? Jobbing out into the shit. Come on, man. You might as well even skip all the formalities and just make the match for Mania now. Like, just stop. Stop.
That's what I mean. It's like art.
The
Awesome
moment you
Truth
put
and
truth
Judgment
in
Day.
it, it's like you are like, listen, bro. Yeah, this storyline's been going on for months with Truth in the Judgment Day, and the
That's
moment
what
they
I'm
sprinkled
saying.
the Miz in the mix, it's like, come on, man, just make the match. Why we gotta do all this?
Yep, that's what I mean. It's like it should have just been Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day for the Raw Tag Team titles, and then have a multi-team ladder match for the SmackDown titles. Because obviously R-Truth and The Miz are winning the tag team titles. There's no doubt about it. Like, they were always gonna win the tag team titles. R-Truth has never won a match at WrestleMania. Obviously, like, they were always gonna win the titles. There's no doubt about it. So this match is just a formality. Especially this qualifying match. Like, in this share, they haven't been on TV since they were drafted to Raw last year, and all of a sudden they're back. Like, yeah, like, obviously they're not winning because Awesome Truth is winning the titles at WrestleMania. So this whole shit is just a formality. Truly it is.
It's just to have a reason to be like, this is why Truth and them are in the match, and it's like, you didn't even need to do all that. You already had the whole thing with Truth in the Judgment Day. You didn't need to have this set up for the setup. You already had it set up.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
already had it set up. It's like extra setup.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like every match they announce, I'm less and less excited for WrestleMania. Because it's like every match feels like disappointing to me. except the Bailey and Io match, like that's the only match that makes any sense to me. Like everything else just feels like disappointing.
I mean, but you allowed them on TV just to job out when they should have been on TV in the first place. I don't mind a person getting on TV, don't get me wrong. But it's like, don't bring them out here just because, like, okay, that means then I should see Indoshare next week after they have, like, after they qualify a jump off and they job out to the Awesome Truth. I should see Indoshare again on Raw, right? They're not just gonna fade away back to the back again, right? Because I mean, I want to see them on TV every week in the tag division.
What are the teams in this match? So you got you got DIY versus Indoshare.
No, Indoshare's taking on Awesome Truth.
Are involved.
You have Awesome Truth taking on Indoshare. You got DIY. I think it was the Creeds. And then it was New Day taking on, I don't remember the last team.
Was it Imperium?
Maybe? Might have been. Could be.
Okay, so put Indoshare against the fucking New Day. So at least they have a believable chance of winning. I don't know, man. It's just the whole thing. The whole thing is just booty.
It is booty. Isn't that like
the whole scenario is booty.
They're booty.
Like I said, man, I don't know. Everything they announced for this WrestleMania, it's just more and more disappointing. Like, I'm more disappointed by everything they announce. Like, you know, like it's not even like I'm trying not to. It's not even like I'm trying not to enjoy it, but it's just like I said, if you make that ladder match for the vacant SmackDown titles, then okay, that's fucking great. Let's do it. But the Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day is like an obvious tag team match. It's like an obvious storyline. Like, there doesn't need to be other people in that equation, you know? You've been doing this storyline for months, so it's like there doesn't need to be other people getting in the way of this. Like, this is just an obvious solution.
Oh, is Ricochet going out? No, still alive.
Surely Ricochet will at least beat JD McDonough. I also don't know.
So this is the main event for the rest of the night then.
Yes,
so with the boys and Rana until a Spanish fly. Is going to wrestle you.
This is
almost forgot. This past week, TNA had their sacrifice show where we did crown new tag team champions in the system. Brian Myers and Hobo Eddie Edwards. And we have new Knockouts tag team champions and Spitfire, which is these two women. I can't remember their names because they're kind of new to TNA.
This doesn't matter. We don't need to say what their names are. They're not any good.
I was kind of surprised that they actually won though. See this how MK
Me
Ultra
too.
literally just got the titles back.
It's like they almost won the titles back just to transition them to somebody else, just so that they could now tease a split up between MK Ultra. The hobo Eddie Edwards and washed up Brian Myers winning the tag team titles, I'm not a huge fan of personally.
But now the system has all the gold, and you gotta trust the system.
It's like they're not a real tag team.
Like they are now, I guess.
Okay, I'll give credit where credit is due. At least they have matching gear.
I was about to say they have matching attire.
At least they have matching
They came
attire.
out to the same entrance music. They have a ballet.
I don't know. They should have just put the titles on the Grizzled Young Veterans.
They really should have.
They should have just put the title on the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Speaking of which, the Grizzled Young Veterans and X Division champion Mustafa Ali defeated the Time Machines, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin,
That was-
and Kushida.
Yeah, that was maybe like match of the night.
Miz
I like that match a lot.
Moose retained his TNA championship against Eric Young. Thanks with a little help from
I mean, no
Frankie Kazarian.
surprise there.
Jordan
surprise
Grace,
there.
she had a decent title defense against Tasha Steelz and what's that girl's name? Brookside.
Zaya Brookside. Yeah, that was a decent match too. That was actually a decent match too.
I wasn't expecting any title changes because it was kind of like, this is one of those lesser TNA shows. But both
Yeah, me too.
women's
Me too.
and
I
men's
wasn't.
tag titles changed hands. I was like, okay. I
Well,
was like, X Division
kinda-
wasn't defended, but
I kind of thought the tag team titles would change hands. And then you had Josh Alexander and Hammerstone 2. That was a good match.
yeah, Hammerstone got the double in that one. Had to go
Yeah,
heel on him.
Yeah, kicked him in the dick. Sometimes you gotta kick a guy in the dick to get the W.
I mean, all in all, it was a decent
Oh, you
show.
also-
Nick Nemeth got the double.
It was alright.
Steve Macklin.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, that was probably the best match. I think that was by far the best match. That was the best match. The 6-man tag was a close second, and then the Knockouts title would be third for me. Those were my 3 favorite matches.
The match between Connor and PCO was just whatever.
It was alright. Like it was what it was supposed to be, right? Like it was just kind of a brawl. Like I think it was what it was supposed to be. Like they brawled through the crowd. I think somebody went through a table.
But overall, it was a decent show.
Khan
Though.
needs a better
I mean,
look.
even like the pre-show with Speedball Mountain and versus the Rascals was a good match.
Yeah, that was good.
Meat match.
You also had a Crazy Steve. He defended the digital media title against Joe Hendry.
Which he got He got felted by AJ Francis, so he managed to a little interference, costing them the match. They continue in that feud right there. Now, I'm not sure. I guess he must be doing both, because I know AJ Francis is not only just in TNA, but I think he's in MLW as well.
Can I blow your mind right now?
What's that?
Apparently, he's backstage at Raw tonight.
Son of a bitch. Ricochet beat JD McDonough. Now we got Big Bronson Reed.
That's my pick.
Top dollar?
Bronson Reed. It was like a good show. Like, it was, not the greatest pay-per-view I've seen in my life, but like it was good. Like, it was I didn't regret watching it.
No, it was good. I mean, like I said, I wasn't expecting much from it because it's a lesser TNA show, but like I said, they kind of went all out on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bronson Reed would do some good to drop some pounds and like bulk up more muscle. Like full Gunther.
Yeah.
Full Gunther. I think it would do him good. Definitely would give his career a real big boost. Like, I think if he did a Gunther, and like I said, because he's not that big of a dude. Like I said, if he just leaned up a little bit and just toned up the muscle more, be an animal. He'd be an animal. Like, lose a bit of the gut. Like, replace the gut for abdominals. And here, bye-bye Ricochet.
Yeah.
But I think a Gunther transformation would do him some good. Same for Sami Zayn. He needs to bulk up. He needs to put on weight. Bronson needs to drop a little weight. Sami needs to put on weight. He looks like he suffers from COVID. Ricochet, he got his half hour and and then the guy, get the fuck out of here, Ricochet. Sammy's coming out.
So I guess Sammy will run the gauntlet, and then it'll come down to Sammy and Gable.
Maybe.
How about this for a wild card? It comes down to Sammy and Gable, and then Imperium come out and attack them both, and then the whole gauntlet gets thrown out. Thinking like, oh, I guess nobody won the gauntlet, so I guess Gunther is not gonna have an opponent at WrestleMania, and then Adam Pearce will come out and be like, oh, aha, that's what you think, triple threat, bitches.
Maybe.
Right? Am I right, or can You can totally see that. You can totally visualize that happening. That's such a WWE thing to do.
Yeah, I can see it.
Ian, AJ Francis is apparently backstage tonight. That's what I was reading. Apparently, AJ Francis is backstage.
Formerly Top Dollar.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow
Come
road.
on,
And you will know.
Okay, it's not related to wrestling, but whatever. You see, like all the people that are like super salty that Across the Spider-Verse didn't win Best Animated Picture of the Year. It was like the new Studio Ghibli movie that won.
Well, of course, it's Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, like what do you expect? Studio Ghibli's the fucking GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT. They just mad
What do you
because
fucking expect?
they want to get validated that their way of trying to produce product is viable, and they want to be on that.
Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I didn't think this Spider-Verse movie, I didn't like it that much. I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
I mean, it was fine.
It was just fine, but
I sure wasn't losing my
come
shit
on, man.
over
You think
it, but you know, there's people that wanted to succeed for ulterior motives other than just be good.
I was just reading. Apparently, the voice of Miles Morales was tweeting like he feels like he got robbed. Sit the fuck down, son. Your movie wasn't that great. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, don't sit there and act like you was out here selling sunshines and rainbows and shit. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah. Like, listen, Studio Ghibli is the fucking GOAT. Everybody and they mama know that.
That's right. So it's like, get over yourself. Listen, like I said, did Godzilla get an award? Yeah? Okay, that's all I need to
Yeah.
Yeah, John Cena wants to be Hollywood, so he paid the cost to try to be the boss. You know, that's all I learned.
I feel
also fucking the only real good moment that I saw at the Oscars outside of Godzilla winning was seeing Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger give Michael Keaton the business.
that was good.
That's the only thing I saw that was actually something that I could like. You know what? That's precious. That's what you call the goods.
Mr. Freeze Penguin team up movie confirmed. Oh my god. Oh shit.
This job market shit sucks ass straight.
That's the
She'll
lamest
send your
pin I
fucking
ever seen
resume
in my
out.
life.
Maybe Bronson will upset Sammy and he'll make it past the next part of the gauntlet. He might just surprise you, man.
Yeah, that was pretty lame, right?
I spoke way too soon.
That was pretty. That was a pretty lame pinfall, I must admit. Like it looked like Sami Zayn was barely holding him.
Oh, now Bronson's being salty. And now Nakamura can pick the bones. Is it basically going to be Nakamura versus Chad Gable for the rest of the night? No? Oh, Sammy's still in it.
So I guess Gable's the only guy we haven't seen, right?
Gable's last.
That makes me think he's not gonna win. I don't know. That kind of makes me think he's not gonna win because I feel like the winner is typically like somebody they want to run the gauntlet a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong.
That's why I feel this is one of those, like, the tag team matches. Like, they just doing all this. Like, you just want, why don't you just give it to the guy you always were going to give it to, Chad Gable? Just do the thing. Let's circumvent all this and just put him in the match. But, you know, we had to go about this way.
Yeah.
Again, we just got to a new match and we're right back to another commercial, bro. My God damn it, Raw. I was gonna say thank God they're going to Netflix, but down here Netflix got commercials.
Thanks.
Netflix got commercials, man. It's like, why? Why do they punish us? Can we not have nice things in this world? Like, just one time. Just one time have nice things.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a six pack challenge for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. So does that mean I guess that means SmackDown is gonna only have
ladder match.
6-pack ladder match. So that means SmackDown is only gonna have 2 qualifiers then, right?
I guess.
So what do you got on SmackDown for tag teams? You got Pretty Deadly, you got Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
You got the LWO.
Oh yeah, okay, so it'll be LWO. Yeah, so it'll be LWO versus Legato, and then it'll be Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne versus Pretty Deadly. Hey, what's this whole like thing with the football thing?
What do you mean?
What's that all about? Can we cut that shit out?
What do you mean the football thing?
Well, they're showing like they like I don't know how to explain it. Like they freeze the clip of Bronson Reed doing the splash off the top rope.
Oh no, that's Pat McAfee thing. That's his thing.
Yeah, can we stop that shit? Like that's fucking annoying.
He thinks he's John Madden. Oh yeah, Authors of Pain, Street Profits on SmackDown.
Well, but it's only there's only 5 spots, so by definition, only 2 teams from SmackDown can qualify. Because you do have the Authors of Pain and the Street Profits, but only 2 of those 6 teams can qualify because Raw is getting 3 qualifying matches.
Oh, we'll find out. Find out on SmackDown then.
Mm-hmm. The Rock and Roman Reigns are gonna enter the tag team gauntlet or the tag team qualifier, and they're gonna win the tag team titles in a ladder match.
And hold it for 5
And then they'll
years.
Yeah. And then they'll defend the titles against Cody and Seth in the main event of night 1.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what's gonna happen. Shit's going for the kill and blow. But no, Sammy catches him. Knock counters. Oh, heel right to the back of the head. Now we on breath roll. We're going for Kinshasa off breath roll. Deadliest roll. Oh, he misses
Deadliest roll.
Kinshasa. But it's a Holuva kick. Sammy advancing through the gauntlets.
Gojira said it earlier. You know what? I agree with you a little bit, Gojira. I'm not a fan of gauntlets. I'm not a fan of gauntlets if it's trying to determine like a number 1 contender. I like a gauntlet match if it's for a championship. I'm a fan of when they used to do like the tag team turmoil, which was basically just a gauntlet, because then it feels like, okay, you know, like the champs have got to run the gauntlet and you got to try to go to the distance and they got to try to beat all these teams. When it's for a number 1 contender spot, it just kind of feels like obviously JD McDonough was not winning this match. Obviously Ricochet was not winning this match. Like, it was always gonna come down to Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, so why not just make it those 2 in a number 1 contenders match? Because it was always gonna come down to those 2 guys, you know?
Now Gable coming off with the suplex, being a good sportsman, letting Sammy get to his feet. Yeah, of course he's never held singles gold because he's always been a tag team wrestler. Cole, no shit. No shit, he never held singles gold being a tag team wrestler. Figure that out. You know, Chad Gable's the only man in this match that never holds singles gold here in WWE. No shit, especially when the majority of your career has been a tag team wrestler. Tag team gold with Kurt Angle's son. Tag team gold with Bobby Roode. Tag team gold with fucking Otis. Tag team wrestler. Crazy, right?
They never held gold, but I thought they could have. But Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were a pretty cool team.
That was a good team. That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, like I feel like they could have held gold, but they just never did.
Damn it, KFC! Stop trying to push this pizza chicken on me, man. I don't want it. It's just a chicken cutlet.
I don't want the chicken pizza.
Like if I wanted a chicken cutlet, I go get a chicken cutlet. It's like I'm just like, yo, can you take that thing and put it between two pieces of bread, please? Preferably French bread.
Or can you put another piece of chicken on top and make it like a pizza double down?
Now you're just talking crazy, Cobra. Get out of here.
Pizza double down. Oh my god, you could like what if you order two of those and put them together and then you would have like the pizza, like, you know what I'm saying?
But they cut it in pieces though, so you can't do that. You have to tell them not to cut it in pieces.
Oh well, fuck that then.
Yeah, see. When do we get Captain Insane?
This is
I don't know.
okay. This is related to wrestling. Did y'all hear that Seth Rollins has been completely cut out of the Captain America movie?
Word. Why?
Yeah. I think apparently the final film was not doing well with test audiences, so they tried to reshoot a lot of it. But apparently, in order to reshoot it the way they wanted, they just had to remove that plot line. So like I guess Seth Rollins was supposed to play King Cobra, but apparently like the Serpent Society has been removed entirely.
Well, rip to that, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. So much for Hasbro finishing that team now.
Rip to the Serpent Society, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe get the director's cut. Who knows? Maybe get release the Serpent Society cut.
Yeah. Release the Serpent Society cut. Release the Seth Rollins cut.
Yeah, release the Seth Rollins cut. We want Rollins. Like, hey, we were promised Seth Rollins. We want Rollins. Release the Rollins cut.
So I was watching Hot Ones with Seth and Becky, but it was like a different Hot Ones. It was where like they ask each other questions, and like if you get the question wrong, you have to eat like the spicy wing. And so I guess one of Seth's questions was like, so Becky's like, okay, she's like you have to say like 3 nice things about CM Punk. And then Seth is just like, he's like, I think I'd just rather eat the wing. He didn't want to say anything nice about him. He's like, no, he's like, I'll just eat the spicy wing. That's like less painful.
Well, I mean, that's good kayfabe.
Yeah, yeah, and what that match could have been, you know, what could have been at WrestleMania.
Hopefully, CM Punk's beefing up a little more, man. Add more cushion to your body. Clearly, you have brittle bones and weak ligaments. It's time to beef up, man. Start eating some proteins.
Yeah.
Get that ass in the gym. I want to see you coming out here looking like Chad Gable right now.
Yeah,
just trying
big
to
time.
get a Gable body. Get that Chad Gable body. I want to see lean, mean, trim. The Tony Awards, yes, the Tony Awards is with an I. Okay, different.
He better come back. He better come back looking like John Cena.
Just shredded up and naked.
Fucking cum gutters and all. Uh, I don't know. I don't know, Gojira. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the combination of garlic bread and fried chicken. I don't
Garlic
think
bread and
chicken.
fried chicken, like what? Like a chicken cutlet?
I don't know, because Gojira says, "What about garlic bread?" And I'm assuming, because we were talking about the chicken like pizza.
Yeah, if I'm
and,
gonna get a
like,
chicken
you
parm,
were
put
sick.
that shit on some garlic bread, son. That shit'll be fucking banging, son. What you talking about? Shit'll be delicious.
I don't know. I'm weird when it comes to chicken. I'm like weird when it comes to chicken, you know?
Oh, well, you ain't see John Cena naked at the Oscars, don't you? Then they put him in a dress, so they could humiliate
chicken.
him for
Chicken.
some Epstein pedophile in the audience. Get their jollies off of him. Some fat cat executive get their rocks off of looking at beefy, meaty John Cena naked on stage, degrading himself for fame. And possible become the next Rock. Don't forget they put Rock in a dress too.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Gable. Let's go to WrestleMania, Gable. Forget about the tag team. Forget about. I like how now, the new Alpha Academy is just Otis and Tozawa now. That's who I think it was. I think it was Otis and Tozawa was the other team. I think it was Otis and Tozawa.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right.
Got him in the ankle lock. Is Sammy gonna tap?
I think you're right. I think it was Otis and Tozawa. Did you hear? I guess Miro and CJ Perry split up.
Yeah, I heard about it, but not so. Oh, wait! Is Imperium coming out? No. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I don't. I think it was a relationship built off of y'all were on the road together forever. And now that they've had time to actually live with each other, you probably figured out you really don't like each other like that. Sure.
I wonder. I guess though.
All the fun stuff was fun stuff, but then eventually you get bored of the fun stuff. It doesn't matter how flexible you are. Eventually you're gonna get bored.
Yeah. I guess that sort of explains like their absence from TV.
Yeah, probably.
That maybe that explains why they just disappeared from television after World's End.
It could be. I mean, I would hope after all this, though, I hope that Miro then gets himself in a place where it's like, all right, can you get your shit back together and get back in the ring?
Yeah. Apparently he's apparently he moved back to Bulgaria.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Maybe he had to go home for a little bit.
You know, sometimes that's what you gotta do, you know? Sometimes you gotta go home and get yourself right.
Lock him up in there. Lock him up. Put him in the grapevine. Grapevine that ankle lock. Gable. gotta lock him up, son. Sami Zayn with the win. Oh my God, they swerved us.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy going to Mania. Chad Gable dreams shattered right before our very eyes.
I guess Shorty G is not finishing his story.
Not today. You hate to see it. See, that's why you got a grapevine that ankle lock, son. Don't stay on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
You get tripped up like that, and then you find yourself with your shoulders on the mat, son. Don't start crying now. Go heal on him.
He can't make it to WrestleMania if he can't walk.
Gunther. I think, like I said before, and I'm going to remind people of the math. Come WrestleMania the day, Saturday, he will be champion for 666 days. Now, I don't want to end my reign on a 666 day reign, unless they take it night 2. Then it's 667. Then you could possibly end it. I don't know what night they're gonna give Gunther, but sure shit don't give him night 1. Just 666 days. You know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, I don't want that on my shit, bro.
Yeah.
So can I get night 2?
I don't know, man. If the choice is Gunther retains or Sami Zayn wins, probably I'm going Gunther to retain then.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm kind of good on Sami getting the Intercontinental title again. I don't know, man. I'm kind of good on that.
But with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Monday Night Raw is over, so that means we are to. I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us here tonight. Appreciate you as always. Smash that like for your awesome selves, and subscribe if you're not already. And also make sure to tell a friend about Monday Night KliqBait Wrestling. Join us back here next week. We'll talk more wrestling. If you're into toys, you can see us over at Sanctuary. We do a show little thing called Spaghetti and Friends on Friday nights. And also, go check out my boy, The White Race, on Thursdays. ELW, Extreme Locale Wrestling. So, you might want to check that out. And with that, we're going to call it. Any last words before we call it?
Just, thanks for everybody's, participation, and WrestleMania is going to be boring this year, and birds aren't real.
Alright, well, y'all make sure, with that being said, that you always kick out. Thick Boys out.
Time has come, I'm ready to go. Venturing into the unknown. Fire's inside me. essence of the day. Shippuden, that's all they can say. I can't get no satisfaction. Woo-hoo! Challenge may have come. Woo-hoo! Fighting just begun, but there's no stopping. People spreading out my wings. Let's fly high. Woo-hoo! Concentrate my power. Woo-hoo! In the final hour, in the end, I'm gonna win. Don't you know I'm unstoppable? Don't even try, cause you will fall. I got a strength deep in my soul that gives me courage and control. I'll go beyond the limit break. The universe is mine to take. I have no fear. I think it's clear. Let's keep you high. Get all this Dragon Ball Super. We got the skill to play.